Hi, gun people. Moki's stalking a little rabbit. You leave that rabbit alone. You attack him on YouTube, I'll have all kind of hate. There's a little rabbit over there. If you didn't watch my little horse channel, you wouldn't know what these rabbits are doing here. But Moki sees one right on the other. Let me move over here so you can see the rabbit he's stalking. He's like, dude, he's like right there. I know I can get him. Where is he? There he is. So he's all upset. And Buddy just wants some food. But anyway, enough with the critters. I got to get this out of the wind. So that's why I'm kind of doing it with kind of a funky view here. Because the wind's blowing out here and I don't want to hear the damn whiners. So let's talk about, we're going to discuss, you leave that rabbit alone. There ain't no sense in that. You grab that rabbit on YouTube and I'm going to get all kind of hate. So, let's talk about, man, all kind of things. First, let me cover Donut Operator. Look, I don't know the guy. I've watched a couple of his videos because somebody slipped in the thing saying, hey man, go watch this good video. And I'm like, okay, I didn't see that one. So I'll cover the video that he's covered. But I don't subscribe. I mean, I should subscribe. I like to subscribe. I wish everybody would subscribe to every gun channel, whether you like them or not. You don't have to receive notifications, but the more popular gun channels, use of force, cop to whatever you want to call it, the more popular they are, the better chance YouTube will stop deleting them. You know, you got all this infighting about who hates who and who hates who. I mean, look, I'm not a fan of Ass. I think he's a freaking idiot. Well, actually, I think his name fits. But I don't care if you subscribe to him. Great. He's out there doing videos. I don't think he knows what the hell he's talking about. But if you like him and it's entertaining and you believe him and you love him and you hate me, great. I don't care. Donut Operator, I get... The guys that love him, for some reason, some of them really hate me, just like people that like me really hate Ass people. You know, look, you're going to get all kinds out here. So I'm not too concerned about who hates who. What I'm concerned about is when somebody tries to pit, like Donut Operator saying, oh, a bunch of comments. He'll protect anybody. He'll protect any cop. I don't know if he does or he doesn't. I know there's people out there saying about me that I bootlicker, I always take the cop side, and there's people saying I hate cops and I always go against them. So, you know what, I'm okay where I'm standing. If Donut Operator's okay where he stands, then let him do his videos. If you don't like him, then, and you watch him and you want to come here and complain, I don't care. I mean, if you want to watch us both and compare, I don't care. I'm just trying to tell you that, and I don't know what his experience is. I don't know how long he's been a cop. Well, I thought somebody said 4. I thought someone else says 8. I don't know how long he was a cop. But you need to understand that in cop world, in government, in the court system, the more experience you have, the more, maybe not credibility, but the more you're able to justify and articulate than somebody with less experience. I'm not saying I'm right, Donut Operator's wrong. You can start doing little clips and I'm hating on Donut. Like I said, I don't know the guy. A couple videos I watch, he seems like he does pretty good research. He spends a lot of time, he gets shit that a lot of times I don't have when I do my videos, and then I have everybody come over here, you don't know shit, Donut Operator said this, you're an idiot. Whatever. Look, sometimes I get things out immediately to counteract what the press and the media is putting out, so I don't have all the information. And I've changed my mind on many of things. So, with more information, I always change my mind if I got more information. And for somebody to say that because Donut Operator has one more thing than I have, therefore he's right, that's not true. If I have one more thing than he does, doesn't mean I'm right. Totality of circumstances. Big term in the courts and our legal system and probable cause, articulable decision, everything that you're going to be caught up with if you use a gun all comes down to totality of circumstances. When Donut Operator comes up with an opinion on something, he bases that opinion on information he has. He may have wrong information. He may have more information. He may have all the correct information and still come up with an opinion different than me, even if we have the same information. And for me to say I'm right and he's wrong, I'm wrong. Look, I'm giving my opinion, and I try to articulate an opinion so most reasonable thinking people will go, kind of makes sense. You kind of got to sell your opinion. You got to be able to articulate it in words and get other people to believe what you're saying. That's what you do in court. That's what, I mean, I had some idiot come here on this cop that was guilty. Oh, I guess he's guilty until proven innocent. You just hate cops. Well, actually, I don't just hate cops. I dislike government power, and abuse of power, and cops seem to be the major ones because they use force, because they enforce the law, because they wear cameras, because they're the ones that make case law, they're the ones that screw up evidence and arrest people and beat people and shoot people in their homes. That's why I go after cops. But cops work for the government. The politicians, the legislators, our Congress, they all make the rules that cops do. Cops can't do anything that the politicians, the DA, your elected representatives. We as cops cannot do anything unless they give us the power. They can take away our batons, they can take away our dogs, they can take away our guns if they want to. So for everybody to beat up on the cops and say it's all the cops' fault, you need more training. Cops are stupid. I don't buy that. I think there's good cops and bad cops. I think there's good government, bad government. I think majority as a whole, government just breeds infestation of power, corruption. It's just horrible, because when you get power with less accountability, you do more. People with riches and money, they have a lot of women hanging around them, they're cheating on their wives. It's not because of they're a cop, because they're a lawyer, because they're a CEO. That's not why they do it. It all boils down to power and accountability. That feeling of, I don't have to play. Sports players are the perfect example. Rules don't apply to them. They get special rules, they got money, they buy their way out. Rich people buy their way out, they pay off, they do secret settlements that are sealed. They work with the courts, they work with a judge, they donate to a politician, they donate to the DA, and the DA decides not to prosecute them. I mean, look, it's not just the cops. However, when I have video of cops doing stupid shit, then that's an individual thing. He's made that choice, and he's made that choice, he or she, or it, or whatever bathroom they're using. They've made that choice because they thought it was okay, because they could get away with it, because it's been done, because they've seen other people do it. That's a system problem. It's not a training problem. It's not a mean cop. Cops are the only organization that wears a camera that records what they do every time they do something. And that's why we're catching them. I guarantee you, if every McDonald's worker wore a camera, people would be shocked and wouldn't be eating at McDonald's and say all McDonald's employees are pieces of shit and they're spitting in their food and they're dropping it on the floor and they're unsanitary and I'll never eat there again. But they don't wear cameras, do they? No. Doctors don't wear cameras when they're talking and joking and when they're operating and they go, oops, damn, I shouldn't have cut that. Just put a little patch on it. He'll be all right. It's just flesh wound. So, I mean, when you get an organization like cops that are constantly watched, you're going to identify bad things. But some of it is individuals, but those individuals would not have the power in their position without other individuals. Hi, Monkey. Would you chase off a little wabbit? You come over here and rub on your dad because you just came and rubbed on my leg to chase off that little wabbit? I know. You're a big bad kitty. So now let's get into why cops are guilty until proven innocent. Because that comment just rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, people that come to the comment with their fake names and their fake pictures and they try to appear smart and they'll say a little phrase that kind of makes sense to another ignorant person, be like, wow, man, that kind of makes sense. Cops shouldn't be guilty until proven innocent. You shouldn't jump to conclusions. Cops jump to conclusions every freaking day. That's our job. Our job is to be suspicious when there's nothing to be suspicious about. Our job is to look for things that might be suspicious. Our job is to articulate contact and arrest people. And guess what? Pesky citizens gets arrested every day. And nobody's saying, oh, guilty until proven innocent. No. That's our procedure. You have probable cause to arrest, you have a warrant to arrest, and you arrest that person, and then that person gets his day in court. Why should it be any different for cops? People are all upset because I'm saying what I believe the cop was doing was looting. And I still believe that. And people are all upset. And nobody has shown me evidence. You show me a camera, because all DPD wears freaking body cams, and if he's responding to a call and he gets on the radio and says, I got people looting, his camera should have been on. Where is his body cam? If it isn't, guess what? My default is, not only did you violate policy, you're trying to hide something, and you're a pretty shitty cop because you don't know how to turn on a freaking camera when you go on a call. And you've only had a camera since you've been freaking hired. So I'm calling you a freaking idiot. Rick, you can't do that. He's police. Shut up, you freaking crybabies. Coming here acting all stupid. Cops are innocent or guilty until proven innocent. No. They get the same standard that every one of us pesky citizens get. Articulable suspicion to contact, to search, to pat down, probable cause to arrest, probable cause to get a warrant. Probable cause isn't saying someone's guilty until proven innocent. It's merely saying that these set of facts and circumstances that I believe to be true gives me reason to believe that he committed a crime. Then it's up to the DA whether they say, cop articulated this pretty well, or if they say, this cop's a freaking idiot. We're going to refuse to prosecute. We're not going to prosecute this crime. So, the wind's kind of circling in here, and I don't know if it's getting on the damn camera or not. I'm going to move this a little closer to the wall, so hopefully the wind will stay off. So, probable cause is, people are arrested every day. I think it's 834 of the Penal Code in California for a probable cause arrest. Could be wrong on the numbers. Sheepdog will hook me up if it's not. He usually puts codes. So, probable cause arrest means cops arrest people. Every arrest that a cop you see on every tube, they're doing 99% of the time is a probable cause arrest. It's not because of a warrant. It's not because a judge reviewed it and a DA reviewed it and said, go arrest this person. Unless they're serving an arrest warrant, banging on the door saying arrest warrant, all the arrests that you see are probable cause arrests. They're not guilty until proven innocent. They're simply saying, I think this person committed a crime. Here's why I believe this. Here's the facts and circumstances that a reasonable person would come to. And me, as an experienced officer, my experience working in this, I come to this conclusion, this guy committed this crime. And then they give it to DA, and DA goes, I think that's pretty reasonable. I think I can convince 12 juries to agree with your probable cause arrest. We're going to charge this guy and take him to court. That's the way the system works. Why should it be different for cops? If I saw that Dallas cop walking around with his furtive ass movement conscious of guilt. So furtive movement is movement that is suspicious and not normal. Okay? If I reach over and pet this, that's not good. If I reach over and grab this cup and walk away, pretty reasonable. Nobody can really jump to conclusion. Somebody could say, he stole that cup. That wasn't his cup. Now, if I grab this cup and go, and I scurry away, that's considered furtive movement. That's considered consciousness of guilt. Consciousness of guilt is that behavior that a normal, innocent person would not normally do. And what this person is doing is not normal. And it kind of has the hint of being illegal or up, or crime is afoot, meaning about to happen, or in the progress of happening. And so when I grab this and do this and look around and scurry away, all that is what's called articulable suspicion. I can explain what I saw. Now if I just grab this, look around and walk away, totality of circumstances. If I grab this and cover it up and then walk away normally, totality of circumstances. Is there another reason I may cover this up? Maybe the wind's blowing dirt. Maybe I'm cold and I want to keep my body warm. Maybe there's a reasonable explanation on why I did this. But when I put all of it together, the grabbing, the hiding, the looking, and the suspicious way that I'm leaving the area, we get into probable cause and articulable suspicion. And a cop can articulate. A new cop who's only been on for a few years may go, the guy covered his drink and walked off. I don't see a problem with that. I would see it differently. Okay? A new cop who's never worked dope with, an experienced cop will be like, They just did a drug transaction. What? I just saw him give him some money. I didn't see a drug transaction. What? Is it against the law to give somebody money? No. But it's against the law in a high crime area where we know there's a lot of dope, where the guy before he gave him the money reached in and they both looked around, and when they made their pass, it was a sleight of hand under the table, covered it up, used a sleight, and then they transferred money. That's totality of circumstances, and you get into probable cause to arrest. Grand jury. Everybody in the grand jury, oh man, if they indict you, you're guilty. No, you're not. A grand jury makes their indictments based on probable cause. Can the DA convince the grand jury that he thinks a crime was committed, about to be committed, or was going to be committed? Can he convince the jury that this person just did that? And if he can, then the grand jury says, we believe you, DA. We think he's guilty too. We're going to indict him. He's not guilty until proven innocent. So why is it that this Dallas cop who does this furtive movement in the dark of night after he supposedly calls in 2 minutes before that there's homeless everywhere still? Look, I've been to many calls where people are looting and stealing shit, and one cop does not stop them. It takes multiple cops. And usually, multiple cops have multiple people in custody because it's called on viewing a crime. If I see a crime in progress and I see a person stealing liquor from a knocked down building of a storm, in most cops' minds who have a brain, they're like, I probably have probable cause to arrest. Guy doesn't look like he owns the building. Guy's grabbing stuff and running away without paying for it. It's in the middle of a crisis. I think that guy's stealing. He's committing a crime. I think I have probable cause to arrest him. But nobody was arrested. Nobody was in custody. If there was multiple people, I'd line them up and sit them on a curb. I'd have them in handcuffs. I would run their name to see if they have prior crimes. I would see if they own the building. Those, to me, are reasonable actions for a cop going to a looting call. Now, people are going to go, well, Rick, it was in the middle of a storm and he had other things to do and he can't worry about everybody. Well, wait a minute. If that's your freaking lame-ass theory, why does he have time to pick up bottles of whiskey and wine and carry them around? Why does he have time to do that, but he didn't have time to go to other stores? He didn't have time to check to see if there was injured people to call for medical. He didn't have time to rope off the areas of crime scene. He didn't have time to do any of this, but he had time to pick up the liquor bottles. But Rick, he said on the radio that he took some, and he took some off a homeless lady. So if I take liquor from a homeless lady, I don't know how many bottles she was carrying, I would set them on the ground. Aren't they always telling us about officer safety? You don't want things in your hands because you're gun. So this guy was so concerned that he called in for backup, had all these people looting, didn't arrest anybody, didn't detain anybody, and he's carrying around liquor in both hands with his gun hand. So he can't draw his gun with all these homeless people that may be committing crimes, that may try to assault him and steal, that may be a threat to his safety. No, Rick. No, none of that shit matters, Rick. You just hate cops, and because you saw a video, you're jumping to conclusions. Okay? There's a difference between jumping to conclusions and making an evaluation of what you see and coming to a reasonable, articulable response on what you think is going on. I'm telling you, any cop worth his salt, if they would have pulled up on that scene with that cop carrying around bottles and he was not a cop, they would have been approached, probably with their gun out. They were looting, committing a felony, could have possibly been armed, I don't know. But I guarantee you, any cop worth his salt would have went up to him and go, what the hell are you doing with those bottles? You own this place? And if he didn't own it, then he would be in handcuffs and I would have probable cause to arrest him. Not that he's guilty. Ricky's guilty. You just think cops are guilty until they prove it. Ah, you're a freaking idiot. Come on. Pull your damn head out. I get so tired. But you know what? I just look at idiots like that. They give me something to make a point about. Because other people who may not understand where I'm coming from or why, through my antics or how I call people idiots or whatever, they may miss the message that, you know what? Maybe if I use this to think, okay? You don't run around with your stupid head on. If you think, you'll probably be like, damn, that kind of makes sense. And until another theory that makes better sense or more sense comes along, it's reasonable, another term you'll hear, that that's probably what was going on. Do you think that the Dallas police, out of the goodness of their heart, our rabbits are over there reproducing, sex education. Anyway, go get them, Mogi. Don't let them make moving rabbits. Do you think that the Dallas Police Department, through their integrity and willingness to cooperate with the public and to share things, decided in the middle of a disaster with all the things they got going on, they decided to release one snippet of a radio call that justifies the officer's position? They don't release body cam, they don't release a time hack, they don't release who was run, who wasn't, they don't release anything but the one piece of evidence that may justify why the cop was there. It does not justify what the cop did after or before he made that radio. I don't care if he made it before or after. That does not justify his actions when he knew he was on camera. So, and again, if Dallas Police releases body cam that proves me wrong, I'll be happy to say, you know what? I had it wrong. I made a decision based on what I saw at the time and what I thought was reasonable. And I think I articulated it pretty fairly and reasonable for most people that just doesn't want to hate. Hi, Moki. Everybody wants to hate on your dad. I know. They're mean. We should get them, Moki. Pow, pow, pow. Oh, God, YouTube will be blocking it out. He's got a cat using a gun. Block him. Shut up. Freaking crybabies. Okay, so hopefully out of all this, remember the difference between articulable suspicion and probable cause is like a ladder. You start off with articulable suspicion, it's less than probable cause. You move up to probable cause. Probable cause gives you the ability to get a warrant, a search warrant, or an arrest warrant. It gives you the ability to get a court order with a search warrant, arrest warrant, as they're both court orders signed by a judge. So when you move up to probable cause, you can do that. Articulable suspicion is a little bit less. You get to probable cause by acting on reasonable suspicion. If I see a guy hanging out in an area and he looks like he might commit a crime, I contact him. I have reasonable suspicion. It's late at night, it's 2 in the morning, it's after a disaster, I see that. Now we're saying he's not a cop now. Let's just call him a pesky citizen walking around with liquor bottles at a liquor store that was been out. We'll just play it that way. Forget he was a cop. If I walk up and I see him, I have articulable suspicion that, you know what? That looks like a crime that may be afoot. I can either sit back and see if he walks away with the liquor, or I can contact him. And when I contact him, because it's at night and because it's a possible felony or a crime, I can pat him down for weapons. All with articulable suspicion or reasonable suspicion that I can articulate. I can do all that. So I pat him down and I feel something that feels like a gun. And I go, what's that? And he goes, it's a gun. I go, what's that for? He goes, I carry it when I'm robbing freaking liquor stores. Okay, great. Now I just moved from reasonable suspicion to probable cause. I can arrest him. I have an admission. He's armed in the commission of this. He already told me. I'm golden. So let's say he doesn't say that. Let's say I approach him, I talk to him, I go, hey man, where do you live? Down the street. No, man. What's your address? I don't have an address. Oh, you're homeless? Okay. Do you have any ID on you? No. Have any warrants? You on probation, parole? No. No. Ever been arrested? No. Okay. I think you're lying. Rick, you can't say he's lying. What gave you? Because I think everybody's lying. It's my job to be suspicious when there's nothing to be suspicious about. How do you people think crimes get solved? Do you think cops are running around going, you're a suspect of my crime. How are you doing today? Did you do it? Oh, let me give you a hug. Thank you. Have a good day. There wouldn't be no damn crime solved. Are you freaking kidding me? We're supposed to be suspicious. We're supposed to question things. We're supposed to verify. We're supposed to make sure that you're telling us the truth. We make you prove your alibi. That's how police work works. In the real world, in video land where you're watching videos or just making videos, maybe it don't work that way. But in the real world, cops are paid to be suspicious. I know you guys don't want to hear that because it goes against, well, that's government. Everybody ought to be innocent until proven it. How do you think you get to proven guilty? You think you're going to prove somebody guilty by running around giving out hugs, thinking everybody's honest? nobody commits crimes and you love everybody, hug a tree, save the whales, that's how you're going to solve crimes? Well, that's because you're a freaking idiot. You live in Idiotville. I can't help you. So, I can get to probable cause from reasonable suspicion. When you go in front of the grand jury, you're going for probable cause. Now, when you want to get somebody guilty in a criminal court, you have to get to beyond a reasonable doubt and above a moral certainty. There's two standards. That's the high standard. That's where you're proven guilty, at that level. You're not proven guilty at arrest. You're not proven guilty at contact. You're not proven guilty at a search. Because remember, to search you, all I need is probable cause. I don't need you to be guilty. I need probable cause. And I don't understand why all these people, I keep getting these comments, oh, if you go to donut operator, he proved the guy was innocent. I don't know if he said that, but if he thinks he proved the guy innocent, well then, I have to call him an idiot. Okay, I don't know the guy, but if somebody's proven him innocent from a 2-second audio tape saying he called in that there was looters and that's his evidence, now if he's got a bunch more evidence that I don't know about, then that's great. And again, you can go watch him. This isn't about me and him and I want you to hate him and you gotta like me and I'm right and he's, I don't care about all that. I'm giving you my opinion based on my experience, and you can either say you're full of shit and don't watch, you can say you're full of shit and I'm leaving, you can say you're full of shit and I don't like you. I don't care. Or you can say, you know what, you've been around, you've defended yourself in court, you survived for over 30 years in the law enforcement in this corrupt system, you made it out with a retirement, and you didn't get caught up in some bullshit criminal act, and you're not in prison. So, you know what? Maybe I know what I'm talking about. Maybe because of all the warrants I've issued and all the rest I've made, maybe because I survived in all the courts and federal courts and in front of all the judges and defense attorneys and prosecutors, maybe I know what I'm talking about. We're back to probable cause on whether or not you think I'm reasonable or I'm believable or I know what I'm talking about. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about the criminal justice system and how things are played out. And I know what I've seen a lot of people go to prison that probably shouldn't have, and I've seen a lot of people that got out of prison that should have gone to prison. But that's the system we live in. All I can give to you is a better understanding on how to defend yourself if you use a gun. I want to promote gun ownership. I want to promote smart gun owners so the government can't run around and pick on all the dumb owners that are watching Ask Channel. And they can't pick on them and put them all in jail and get rid of guns completely. I would rather people who carry guns be smart and understand the law and be able to defend themselves against a tyrannical, power-hungry government that's got out-of-control cops that are not held accountable. Okay? It's the media's job supposedly to hold the government in check. They're supposed to question government. They're supposed to be exposing government's flaws and errors. But they don't. Because they're in bed with government because it's the liberal left. And they want to promote their liberal left idiot policies that are breaking cities and raising crime and destroying the country, so they're never going to hold government accountable. They like government. They like regulation. They like failure of government because then they can justify more government. Pretty simple concept, people. So it is what it is. I just thought, again, when I get these idiot comments, people are like, why are you getting so upset? You know, I'm just kind of, when I make points, I kind of get the way I am. It is what it is. Some people like it, some people don't. But I'm just telling you, man, this Dallas cop, I don't have enough evidence to say that he wasn't doing some sort of criminal act. I just don't have enough evidence. And a 10-second freaking, oh, I got looters, can you send me some more units? That don't make him innocent. Again, you know what that proves if you go to court? That proves at the time he made that radio call that he was on the radio and that he said what he said. Doesn't prove that what he said was true. Doesn't prove that it was actually happening when he did it. Doesn't prove any of that. It merely proves that he was on the radio and this is what he said. That's it. That's all it proves. So people who are jumping to conclusions, blaming me to jump, if you're jumping to the conclusion that that statement clears him, man, I don't get it. I mean, I know my regular viewers get it because they've heard me pound it into them, question things. How can you sell this? The fish story. I got people saying the fish was his property. And I got some pretty good comments on that. Look, if Fish and Game showed up and you got a fishing pole and there's a fish laying there, it's your fish. Now, the cop would still have to articulate that. He would have to say, you were fishing, you were the only one with a pole, and the fish was by your feet next to you. If there's 20 fishermen and there's a fish laying on the sidewalk, that doesn't mean it's your fish. You still have to prove it. Who caught the fish? Without a witness, without video evidence, without some totality of circumstances, you're the only guy on the beach with a fishing license. You got 4 other fish just like this fish. He's got the same hook in his mouth that the other. I mean, without all of that, you can't just, people are like all jumping to conclusions. Well, of course it's his fish. It's right there. There was 2 guys fishing, and I didn't see either one of them fish. So people are like saying, oh, Ricky, you're just making it, the fish was his. It wasn't his. And that's why you get into where people think cop work is easy and simple. It's easy for cops to go up there and claim victory. That's a fish. It's yours. He threw it. It's your property. I'm going to arrest him. And then guess what? The DA refuses to charge. There's not enough evidence. And nothing happens. And then people complain about that. Why is the DA? Just because cops are doing crappy work. You have to be able to prove what you say in court. And it's not easy. The old saying, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And proving things takes a little bit more than there's a fish on the sidewalk and there's 2 people there fishing, therefore it's your fish. Prove it. Prove that fish is mine and I caught it. Prove that that guy didn't catch it. Well, I'll just arrest you both, like cops do when there's drugs in the car. I'll arrest everybody in the car because there's drugs in the car. Let you fight it out. To me, that's shitty police work. If I can't prove it, if I can't give the DA a decent case to where he can take the trial and get a conviction, I'm not going to waste everybody's time. I'll seize the dope, say it's unclaimed property, I'll identify everybody, maybe take their fingerprints, maybe see if I can do a DRA, a drug recognition on them, see if any of them's under influence. Now, if there's drugs in the car and there's 4 people in the car, and I do a DRE on all of them, a drug recognition expert, which I'm qualified for, if I do that test on all 4 of them, and only 1 person comes up under the influence, and he's given the same symptoms as a drug I found, whether it's a stimulant or uplant, or a downer or upper, if only 1 does it, now I can charge him with more certainty, because I have more totality of circumstances. If there's a pipe in the car where he's smoking his crack, and the same guy that has the same symptoms of using the drug, he's the only guy with brown fingertips. You people wouldn't know this unless you've arrested a few dopers. They always have brown because when they light it and it burns, they end up getting burnt things on the end of their fingers. So you can tell if they're smoking dope. All dopers you arrest with crack pipes, they have burnt fingers. If he's the only one with burnt fingers out of all 4 and he's exhibiting symptoms and there's dope in the car, is that not a better case than, well, there's 4 people in the car, let's arrest them all. They're all guilty until proven innocent. Ah, you're a freaking idiot. All right, we'll go ahead and end that there. Hopefully, I know there's some young cops that watch and you're getting some of this. Hi, Moki. Hi, little wabbits. Don't be making no damn babies. I don't care if they make babies. They can run where they want. More babies mean more food for the coyotes. So there's old Mr. T hanging out in the garage, saying hello to my critters. There's Buddy Boy going to get a drink of water. Where's that crazy mule? There he is. Buddy Boy! Rawr! I know, he's a good boy. All right, we'll end that there. Say goodbye, YouTubies.